Today on the news at noon, vacant schools in SAISD could get some new tenants. How people around the community can put in their bids to lease one of the buildings.
Plus a can-do attitude and some actual cans here, all coming together for a good cause. Our Devin Karp is live with a look at the construction project going on at North Star Mall.
But first, temperatures in the 60s in August, my favorite headline of the day. It's something we are not used to here in Central Texas.
And our Sarah's 5A with wind to catch those cooler temperatures that we enjoyed the morning.
I'm sorry, but it's September, guys.
Right?
I know, temperatures in the 60s in August?
I'm in such a good mood because of this.
Okay, it's September, so temperatures in the 60s can happen in September. Oh. Yeah. It's a
yeah,
Tuesday.
So it is September.
It's a Tuesday, but
there
it was our coolest morning since May. So there we go. We got that. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look out there. And you can see we've got tons of sunshine around San Antonio right now. So after starting off at 65, we are now at 82. So we've already seen an 17-degree temperature jump here. 82 in San Antonio, 82 in Eagle Pass, still in the 70s in Rock Springs, 80 in Kerrville. It's going to be a warm afternoon, but like this morning, it felt great outside because humidity was a little lower. This afternoon, 92 for the high, but feeling good because of that low humidity. Clear skies tonight. We'll do it all over again tomorrow. So we've got another cool morning tomorrow in the 60s, then warm mid-90s for the rest of the week. And here's the thing though, unfortunately rain is staying out of the forecast, but we'll talk about how that's not all bad news coming up in just a bit.
Thanks, Sarah. Well, a 21-year-old man is dead this morning, and now San Antonio police need your help finding the person who pulled the trigger. Police say back on September 1st, 21-year-old Aaron Collins was chased around his Westwood Loop apartment and shot in the chest. Investigators say the suspect, who's now wanted for murder, got away in a silver Mercedes with a lit front emblem and damage to the rear driver's side bumper. A white GMC pickup was also seen nearby. Anyone with information urged to contact SAPD. You could get a cash reward of up to $5,000.
Well, a suspect in a capital murder case is now under arrest. 20-year-old Joshua Reyes is accused of killing two teenagers in July of 2022. So the victims were 15-year-old Emiliano Rojas and 14-year-old Edgar Menchaca. Now, San Antonio police say that the suspect and the victims connected on social media to meet for a THC vape exchange. After they met, investigators say that Reyes shot the two while they were in a car. Investigators also say a witness told them that they saw Reyes pick up shell casings after the shooting. Detectives say that Reyes' DNA matched the vapes that were found during that investigation. Investigators say they are not looking for more suspects.
Well, during a recent sentencing hearing, a judge in Kerr County openly questioned why Kerrville resident James Hunter Schmidt had been given so much latitude in previous criminal cases. Turns out Schmidt is a founding member and former resident of the Kerr County Sheriff's Foundation, the agency's fundraising arm. His convictions in Kerr County include multiple DWIs, felony and misdemeanor family violence, and attempted injury of the elderly.
What do you have to say to all your victims? The two women. Do you find it ironic that you would be behind a sheriff's office foundation and have so many run-ins with the law here in Kerr County?
Well, tonight on the Night Beat, Sheriff Larry Letha responds as Schmidt's full criminal history comes to light. Well, after nearly 2 years, we are a little bit closer to finding out what could become of San Antonio ISD's closed campuses. This week, San Antonio ISD opened up the bids to lease its vacant buildings. They are soliciting proposals from people or organizations who want to lease the buildings or property around it. They are open to residential rentals, commercial, and land leases. Because of low enrollment in 2023, the board announced the closure of 15 of its campuses. They launched community surveys and property studies to see what type of use was best for those vacant buildings. We have made the link available to you on KSAT.com if you are interested. The proposals have a series of questions, requirements like financial plan, security plan, and project timeline. Bids close on October 17th, so you have 39 days left.
Well, Buc-ee's in Boerne, not a reality just yet, even though it's been in the works for nearly a decade. And that's because the project hit another snag. Now they are dealing with a zoning issue. So Buc-ee's wants to use a nearby 5-acre tract for employee parking. However, the land's zoning was never updated when the city adopted a new development code in 2021. Now the city is asking the public to weigh in, and many Boerne residents had a laundry list of issues. Those include topics like traffic, light pollution, public safety, and flooding risk.
A lot of people move to Boerne for the small town feel, the country feel, and to see the beautiful sky lit up with stars at night. I can get emotional talking to you about it. That will be gone forever.
Well, eventually the Planning and Zoning Commission voted 6-1 to delay the zoning decision for 60 days. Many are hoping more time will give them a better opportunity to demand changes from the iconic gas station. Well, students, architects, and engineers alike helping thousands of families get food in Bexar County, all through some unique work. It's called Construction. The yearly event raises awareness for Hunger Action Month in September by creating giant sculptures made of canned food. And our Devin Karp is live at North Star Mall, where you can see them now. And Devin, what are we looking at right now?
Okay, so your eyes are not mistaken. If you look close enough, you might be able to tell this is in fact not a real deer. This is Bambi here, made out of cans from the San Antonio College's architecture team. Check out some of the delicate work on this, by the way. There is no glue being used in any of this. This is all physics holding this up. I want to show you one of the other ones too. There's some from UTSA students right here. These are some Lego construction guys, just to show some of the creativity that's coming from this. It's made with thousands of cans. And some of the best part about all this work is it's going to go to feeding hungry families across our area.
It's not often your homework can make a difference. 1,500 cans, to be precise. These students with San Antonio College are joining Construction for the very first time and learning as they go.
So we did Bambi, and it's kind of hard. He's like a very large body. Figuring out the leg situation and everything was kind of difficult.
It's an inspiration for maybe kids who are growing up who didn't think, oh, architects and engineers can do that kind of stuff. That's pretty cool. But I think secondly, it's design and it's architecture with a purpose, right? And the purpose is raising awareness in our community.
This is the 18th year the San Antonio Food Bank has put on Construction with the San Antonio Chapter for Design Administration and the American Institute of Architecture. And it's all about balance.
I think what these constructions do is they tell a story. And when we let a story come into us, it reminds us that we're all kind of tied together. We're all kind of the same. Some people might have a season of facing hunger today and be giving back next year, vice versa, right?
That would be Bambi, the AIAS Student Chapter, San Antonio College Structural Ingenuity. Congratulations, come on up.
Over the last 17 years, these can art sculptures have donated 600,000 pounds of food going to families across the area, all while letting the public get in on some of the fun.
It's exciting to make something like that, but then also have a functioning, helpful purpose, you know?
These students were able to win Best Structural Integrity out of 7 other exhibits, which includes working professionals, showing the future seems to be in capable but steady hands.
So all 8 of these sculptures are here on the first floor of the North Star Mall. But if you want to get in on some of the fun, here's how you can do it. You see this QR code right over here on the sign? Well, that's where you can vote for the People's Choice. They're going to be tallying all the votes to see which one gets this prestigious award. You've got until September 20th to make your vote heard. After that, they're going to be announcing the winner coming up on September 26th. Now, there's some pretty cool ones that were scattered throughout that story, so keep an eye out. And I got to say, they're even better in person, guys.
That is so amazing.
I know. I can't wait to check it out in person.
It's going to be so good.
Thank you, Devin.
I like the Bambi too.
Yes.
When he had first started looking at it, I couldn't tell, and then you see the little eye. Yeah. All right.
So cute.
Thank you so much, Devin. Great live shot. We got to see all of those.
Yes, I like the Calavera as well. Very nice.
All right. Well, patients with a disease that affects blood flow are getting new hope thanks to blood donations. Why the organization like the Red Cross say it's especially important for people of color to donate.
Well, a string of deadly crashes on a San Antonio road has neighbors concerned, and how people living nearby are calling for change.
Imagine being afraid to cross a street in your own neighborhood. Well, that's a reality for some people along a stretch of Southeast Military Drive.
Well, in a matter of days, 2 deadly crashes happened in the same area, and neighbors tell our Avery Everett that they are demanding change.
Tattered crime scene tape is strung down Southeast Military Drive. These markings show where crashes have happened and where people have died.
It's ridiculous, that nothing's been changed. They don't hear the outcries of the community here.
Jesse Espitia lost his sister Jeanette and her unborn child 3 weeks ago. That night, she got off the bus and was trying to cross the street when she was hit and killed. A memorial has grown where her body was found. Days later, just down the street, another man was hit before he could get across. 28-year-old Noah Patterson died in the hospital.
I'm gonna fight for my sister and Noah and the baby.
Both of these crashes happened outside of crosswalks on this stretch of Southeast Military Drive, between Old Corpus Christi Road and South Presa Street. People living here say designated crossings are few and far between, and the lighting is dim at night. Years of safety concerns pushed the city to install this crossing back in 2019. But for people who live right across the street or deal with the bus stops here, they say it's often broken or drivers don't even slow down when those flashing lights are signaled. So we tested it out ourselves. After pressing the button, the light began to flash, but cars kept driving.
No one's even slowing down.
We made it across, but on the way back noticed one of the buttons to trigger the lights was missing. Instead, a traffic cone sat in its place. So we had to run. That's the same problem Christopher Arrington has every day.
I would have pressed the button, but I know it's not going to work anyway. So.
I took these concerns about pedestrian safety to District 3 Councilwoman Phyllis Villagran.
We just have this happening throughout the district. So we're really trying to push forward, see if we can get resolutions through the Transportation Department with TxDOT.
In an emailed statement, a spokesperson for TxDOT told us signals and crosswalks are maintained by the city of San Antonio. That's why Jesse Espitia says he won't stay quiet.
But in reality, it's going to keep happening. We just got to keep fighting.
Drivers in both of those crashes are not expected to face any charges. Now, we do know an apartment complex manager on this stretch of Southeast Military Drive has been advocating and fighting for years for more pedestrian measures, safety measures on this stretch. She says her most recent request is for a traffic signal, but that's still pending through 311. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
All right, great story on that. Turning to the weather, what a cool September morning it's been.
Glad you guys corrected yourself. It is September.
Listen, we're really busy. We forget what day it is. And now we're forgetting what month it is.
To be fair, early September often feels like August, so it was a treat.
Is this considered fake fall?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Fake fall.
Yeah, there we go.
Fake fall, just for a little bit. Let's go ahead and take a look at the pollen count. Molds are up from yesterday. They're at 2,000. Fall elm and ragweed are low. The aquifer continues to rise from recent rains, up 0.3 of a foot over the last 24 hours. Today, we got down to 65 this morning. That's our coolest morning in quite some time. Since when? I'll have that answer coming up. All right, ladies.
A reminder.
What month is it?
It is September, but also reminded us that this is a false fall.
False fall.
I thought it was like fall for a moment.
Oh,
no, we'll
no,
have
it's not.
another coolish morning tomorrow, and then mornings are kind of go back to where they usually are this time of year.
In early September, which it is right now.
Yes, wow.
False fall is very common, is it not, Sarah?
It is very common because we get cool fronts, we get drier air moving in. That makes sense. So this morning we got down to 65 degrees. Take a look at these morning lows. It was only 59 in Bernie and in Comfort, 58 in Kerrville, 68 in Uvalde, 65 in Floresville, and 63 in New Braunfels. In fact, this is our coolest morning. This was our coolest morning since May 12th, 120 days ago. The sign of the seasons starting to change, even if it is false fall here in San Antonio. So let's go ahead and look at temperatures now. We are already in the low 80s, so a quick warm up for us. 87 in Pleasanton, it's 88 in Cotulla, 80 in Kerrville, and 84 in New Braunfels. We've got dry air in place, and I just want to give you a little science lesson. So dry air heats up and cools down really easily. Think about the desert. It gets chilly at night and hot in the afternoon. So that dry air in place with dew points in the 50s explains why we were able to cool down into the low to mid 60s this morning, and while we'll be close to 92 this afternoon. Totally sunny skies for the remainder of the day here in San Antonio. 92 for the high, and with clear skies and dry air in place, remember, like the desert, we're going to get cool pretty quickly this evening. We'll be in the mid 70s by midnight. And once again, tomorrow morning is going to be another nice morning. So sunrise around 7:12, 7:15. So if you're somebody who likes to get up earlier in the morning, it's going to be a great morning to do that tomorrow morning. 62 in Boerne, 61 in Bandera, 62 in Kerrville. It'll be 66 in Uvalde, 66 in New Braunfels and in Floresville, 68 in San Antonio. So just a couple of degrees warmer than this morning's morning lows. After that, though, we are going to see temperatures return into the 70s for those morning lows. So looking at clouds and radar across the nation, there's really only a couple of areas that are dealing with rain across the United States. You can see through the Central Plains here, we've got some areas of rain. Otherwise, high pressure is really starting to take over. That high pressure system is going to be moving over Texas. And for us this time of year, high pressure means dry, so unfortunately no rain. And high pressure system also means the heat is going to crank up a little bit. So look at the futurecast. You can see all the rain going over Texas, not really impacting us at all. The high is going to overpower this low that's going to be moving through the northern tier of the United States. And so for the next several days, we're really going to see temperatures a little bit warmer than average. The average high this time of year is 92. We're going to be 95, 96 in the mid 90s. So definitely on the warm side, but again, not too humid in the afternoons. Are we going to hit 100 degrees again this year? I think it's going to be hard for us to do that because our latest 100-degree day on record is September 28th. And records, by the way, date back to 1885. And that was our latest triple-digit day, September 28th of 2005. So as we get closer and closer to that date, it's going to be harder and harder for us to statistically hit 100 degrees. So we might be able to say goodbye to the triple digits technically for the year. How many have we had so far this year? Triple digits, about 20, a little bit more than average, but not too much hotter than what's usual. So it's been a pretty okay summer for us. Hey, I'll be back with a look at morning lows for the rest of the week coming up.
Thank you, Sarah. Blood donations can save lives, and that includes people who suffer with sickle cell anemia.
September is National Sickle Cell Awareness Month. It's an inherited disease where red blood cells become abnormally shaped, which can affect blood flow through the body.
So those who have this disease depend on blood transfusions for life-saving relief. And the American Red Cross says a new trend is strengthening the blood supply for these patients.
CNN's Mandy Gaither talks to a woman who lives with sickle cell disease about why this trend is critical for her survival.
At just 4 years old, Kelly Bernard Igwe says a blood clot in her brain caused her to suffer a stroke,
which resulted in a limp, walking with a limp on the left side of my body.
Born with sickle cell disease, sometimes called sickle cell anemia, she's one of more than 100,000 Americans whose blood cells sickle into a crescent-like shape, causing blood flow disruptions to the body. Those who have this disease depend on blood transfusions for survival. For Bernard Igwe, it's a way to avoid having another stroke.
I think I've received over 800 transfusions in my lifetime.
More than 90% of those affected by sickle cell disease are non-Hispanic, Black, or African American, and about 1 in every 365 African American babies are born with it. Each may require blood transfusions throughout their lifetime. The American Red Cross says blood donors who are Black are almost 3 times more likely than other donors to be a compatible match for these patients, and blood donations from Black Americans have recently rebounded, reversing a concerning decline thanks to the organization's Sickle Cell Initiative, which has collected over 7,300 pints of blood since 2021 through drives at historically Black colleges and universities, benefiting patients like Bernard Igwe, who's now a registered nurse with a doctorate.
With the blood donation, I'm able to live a normal life.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Well, since sickle cell patients are often in greater need for transfusion, this happens in the winter months.
That's why the American Red Cross is planning more than 750 blood drives across the country this fall through its Joined by Blood initiative.
An immigration crackdown across the U.S., both LA and Chicago bracing for ramped up raids. I'm Rena Roy, and I'll have the latest coming up.
Well, there is some relief from people in the Texas hemp industry.
Marijuana is illegal in Texas, but state and federal laws legalizing hemp have inadvertently allowed a booming Texas industry for cannabinoids that can still get users high, including the main psychoactive component in marijuana, THC.
Well, some state leaders have wanted to crack down on that, but they didn't pass a full-blown THC ban in the last special legislative session. However, one state law involving THC took effect last week.
Garrett Berger tells us what's out and what could still be coming.
Another Texas legislative session ended Thursday, once again without a ban on THC.
What was your feeling?
Sigh relief.
At the Mellow Monkey on the northwest side, owners Jackie Walgie and her husband have been keeping an eye on the Texas legislature. Governor Greg Abbott vetoed a total ban on THC after the regular session and instead urged legislators to regulate THC similar to alcohol.
Again, I'm hoping for regulation. I was for everything on there, and we were already doing most of that stuff that was on there.
But the powerful Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick only wants a full ban. And as the special session wound down last week, Patrick said he, the House Speaker, and Governor hadn't been able to find a resolution. So no ban, but no regulation either. Well, nothing new.
All of this used to all be full of vapes.
On September 1st, a separate, narrower ban kicked in on selling certain vapes. Not only nicotine ones disguised as school supplies or those made in China, but also vapes that contain any cannabinoid.
So stores can't sell any THC vapes anymore, but they can sell edibles or stuff that you can roll and smoke.
We talked with one customer who came looking for a vape. He didn't want to be identified, but said he'll probably go for a different way to consume it.
So if you can't drink beer, you'll drink wine kind of concept, you know.
Asked about a wider THC ban, the customer said he gets the thinking.
You know, I mean, if too many kids are getting too messed up and abusing it, then I mean, obviously it's for a greater purpose. I'm just hoping it stays.
The next regular session isn't until 2027, but the pro-regulation governor had this to say on Friday.
The THC, the hemp products that didn't get done, are you willing to wait till 27, or you can maybe thinking about a callback sometime around January?
I would say stay tuned on that. Something may be happening soon.
Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Well, last night, Edgewood ISD board members voted to censure one of their own for allegedly violating several district policies. This comes just weeks after a woman was arrested at one of the district's board meetings for speaking over her time during the public comment part of it. So yesterday's meeting was to make a decision on sanctions against trustee Michael Valdez. So he is accused of speaking publicly against the board and violating the district's ethics policies, something that Valdez denies.
Just for speaking up, you call, and this board calls a special board meeting to censor me. It's just ridiculous how much money you're putting into this. And I am going to continue to speak up for injustice.
For now, Valdez will no longer be able to run for board officer next year. He is also required to get more ethics training before next month.
Well, new testing data shows reading skills have reached a new low among high school seniors. According to a national test, 12th graders had their lowest reading scores since 1992. That test, the National Assessment of Educational Progress, has long been seen as the nation's most reliable exam. The results showed roughly a third of high school seniors who were tested last year did not have basic reading skills. 12th graders also showed their lowest performance in math since 2005. The testing data is the first of its kind released since the pandemic upended education. The declines are likely related to that disruption, as well as increases in screen time among both adults and children.
Look out there with a live cam. We're heating up to 82 degrees, but what a beautiful morning it was, Sarah.
Absolutely a gorgeous morning. We got down to 65 degrees, but take a look out there. What do you see? Nothing but sunny skies. So because of that, we have warmed up pretty quickly. All right, look at your screen. I'm about to show you rain chances over the next few days. Nada. Nothing. No rain chances there. Sorry, Steph. She looked at her screen right when I said she was squinting. They're not there because we do not have any rain chances, unfortunately. But we are having some pretty pleasant weather. Sunny skies, a few puffy cumulus clouds out to the west. Those areas received a bit more rain than San Antonio, so they've been able to see some clouds this afternoon from evaporation. Otherwise, it's 84 in New Braunfels, 80 in Kerrville, 84 in Del Rio, 89 already almost 90 in Pleasanton, and 88 in Gonzales. We're going to be reaching a high temperature of 92 today, so we're going to see temperatures rise by another 10 degrees or so, but that 92 is going to feel pretty good, especially if you can find some shade. Otherwise, temperatures will fall quickly. We'll be at 80 degrees by 10, and we'll have one more cool morning tomorrow before we return to what's kind of usual for this time of year. I've got those details and neighborhood look at how cool it'll be tomorrow morning coming up in a bit. Steph.
Thank you, Sarah. Well, nearly half of people with diabetes around the world do not know that they have it. That is according to a new study that found 44% of people ages 15 and older with diabetes have been undiagnosed. So the research, which looked at data from more than 200 countries and territories, revealed key differences. For example, younger people are much less likely to be diagnosed, and higher income countries are doing a better job of identifying the disease. Experts say early diagnosis is key because undiagnosed diabetes can lead to long-term problems. Well, buying a home has become increasingly pricey in the past few years. And how pricey? Well, real estate company Zillow released data Monday on showing that America's housing market has climbed 57% since 2020. to a record $55 trillion. Well, that means the market has gained $20 trillion in just the last 5 years. The findings highlight a housing market that remains historically expensive, with values climbing even as elevated mortgage rates sideline would-be buyers and force sellers to slash asking prices. So in contrast, pandemic-era boom states like Texas lost billions in their housing markets in 2025.
Well, some of the industries most exposed to tariffs are losing jobs. Job growth in the manufacturing, construction, and transportation sectors turned negative shortly after President Donald Trump's trade war started in the spring. That's according to a new analysis of employment data. The U.S. manufacturing industry has 78,000 fewer jobs than it did a year ago, and manufacturing employment has declined 4 months in a row, according to the August jobs report released last Friday. The job loss in tariff-exposed industries has also contributed to a broader slowdown in hiring.
Well, saving money when you travel may be difficult, but cutting down on the stress of splitting bills with friends is possible. The hack that a group of friends came up with to help them enjoy trips more often. Well, we know Christmas is a little ways off. However, preparations are already underway over at the University of the Incarnate Word.
Volunteers gathered on campus to get the Christmas lights ready, my favorite Christmas lights in the city. If you haven't been there, make it a point to go this year. The entire UIW campus is lit up in a sea of color, and everyone can go and enjoy it.
Light the Way is really UIW's gift to the San Antonio community. It's the time of year when we put up all the lights around campus, over 1 million twinkling lights.
Well, the Light the Way celebration kicks off on November 22nd. This is this year with the annual Flip of the Switch.
I feel like it's appropriate that we're talking about Christmas just because it's a little bit cooler this morning. But
there are times when our Christmas mornings have been in the 70s, and this morning we were in the 60s. So Cooler than Christmas? Well, I wouldn't go that far, but we are looking at the pollen count right now, and molds are high, past 2,000. Fall elm and ragweed are both low, so that is some good news there. Aquifer is up 0.3 of a foot over the last 24 hours, but this is the number to really pay attention to. We're still well below the monthly average there. That 10-day average, though, is coming up a little bit. All right. We were cool in San Antonio this morning. In fact, we were cooler than some other places across the nation that may surprise you. I'll have those details soon.
During an immigration crackdown across the country, the Supreme Court has ruled in favor of the Trump administration, allowing so-called roving immigration raids to resume in Los Angeles. ABC's Rena Roy reports it comes as the White House also ramps up immigration enforcement in Chicago.
A major win for the Trump administration in the nation's highest court. The Supreme Court lifting restrictions on ICE agents operating in California, now allowing them to resume aggressive enforcement tactics that critics say relied too much on a person's race, the fact that they speak Spanish, or the type of work they do.
ICE is going to enforce the laws of what President Trump got elected for, and that's what we're doing.
The mayor of Los Angeles slamming the decision.
I want the entire nation to hear me when I say this isn't just an attack on the people of Los Angeles. This is an attack on every person in this city and in every city in our country.
Two lower courts deemed this unconstitutional, with the Fourth Amendment providing protection against unlawful searches and seizures. In a 6-3 decision, the conservative majority did not explain its reasoning. In Chicago, the Department of Homeland Security announcing Immigration and Customs Enforcement has launched an expanded operation in the city called Midway Blitz.
We're in Chicago. We've been in Chicago from day one. We've increased resources in Chicago. As far as a massive operation, we'll see what happens.
President Trump has also said he wants to send the National Guard to Chicago to fix what he says is a crime problem, despite the city's police data showing crime has dropped. Governor Pritzker adamant he will not request the Guard. Now, this is happening as the Mexican-American community in Chicago begins celebrating Mexican Independence Day. Immigration advocates saying the timing of it all is an act of terrorizing the community. Department of Homeland Security releasing a statement saying, quote, "That's stupid." Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Well, I know we've been talking about it, and it's like basically all we're talking about, but having a cool morning after summer temperatures is a huge deal here in San Antonio.
Yes, a very nice treat.
It's a huge deal. And earlier this morning, I was looking at how cool it was in San Antonio compared to the rest of the nation, and a couple of things actually stood out to me. So again, here in San Antonio, we got down to 65 degrees for the morning low. Some areas that may shock you that were actually warmer than San Antonio this morning. Salt Lake City, the morning low in Salt Lake City was 72 this morning. So we were cooler in San Antonio than Salt Lake City, just about as cool as Portland, Oregon, San Francisco, and Minneapolis only got down to 64 degrees. So we were just a degree warmer than Minneapolis this morning. Oftentimes that's because of a little rain going on in those areas or things like that. But I just thought that was a fun fact that I could share with you all. Tomorrow morning we will be cool, just not quite as cool. Again, just to recap, this morning we got down to 58 in Kerrville, 63 in New Braunfels. It was only 57 in Austin, 65 in Pleasanton. So a crisp, cool morning for us. But take a look at what happens to morning lows in the days ahead. Tomorrow morning we'll be at 68, so another cool morning for you tomorrow. And then by the middle of the week and into the end of the week, we're going to be looking at our morning lows back to what is usual for this time of year, right around 71. So enjoy tomorrow morning while it lasts. We were talking about it being a false fall. I think that is a good way to describe it. Looking outside right now with satellite, you can see the clouds west of San Antonio, Uvalde, Eagle Pass, Del Rio. But here in Alamo City, we're looking at complete sunshine. And so because of that, we've been able to warm up. We started off at 65. We're already at 82. So that is about 17 degrees warmer than where we started the day. Quick warm up for us because of those clear skies. 84 in New Braunfels, 84 in Del Rio, and it's 88 in Cotulla. Now for the rest of the day, we're going to be looking at the low 90s. So what an interesting day, right? We start off in the 60s, we top off in the 90s. That is a quick warm up because of the dry air in place, sunny skies, and tonight we're going to have clear skies and dry air. And so that's why tomorrow morning we'll be waking up in the 60s. But this afternoon, it's going to be 92 in San Antonio, 89 in Boerne, 92 in Seguin, 92 in Uvalde, and 93 in Pleasanton. Here's a look at the clouds across the nation and the rain. We've got some of that rain there. Remember how I said Minneapolis was about a degree shy of San Antonio this morning, and that's because they've had some areas of rain and those clouds acting like a blanket to keep in the warmth from the rest of from earlier in the day. High pressure system right over the Four Corners. This is going to allow for the rain to go up and over Texas in the coming days. So we're going to be seeing a dry stretch here. So far, I'm looking ahead to the next 7 days and they're dry, but I even looked a little bit farther beyond that, and you got to always be kind of careful with those forecasts beyond 7 days. But it is looking to me that it's going to be hard for us to come by any rain potentially over the next 14 days, the next 2 weeks. So that's not great news because, again, we're still in drought despite the fact that we got some decent rain on Sunday. Again, looking ahead to the forecast, no triple digits in our forecast, though, so that is good news. But the reason why we call it the false fall is because we go right back to temperatures in the mid to upper 90s in the middle of the week, guys.
Okay, we'll prepare for that, Sarah. Thank you. Well, group trips can be a lot of fun, and splitting the bill can help make travel more affordable. However, keeping track of who pays for what can get pretty stressful. So the trick one group of friends have to make sure everyone pays their share without the stress. Well, now to one group of friends solution to the girls' trip and how to split those expenses.
ABC's Rebecca Jarvis has this story with clever ways to share vacation costs.
My girlfriends and I are currently on a holiday.
Kim Brindell and her 5 best friends have known each other for over 20 years. From weekend getaways to unforgettable adventures, the group shares a love of travel that's only deepened their bond over the years. But like with any group trip, the hassle of splitting expenses became a consistent burden. That was until one of them had a better idea at the end of a trip 3 years ago.
We were frantically trying to work out who owed who what and calculate everything to be able to square up at the end of the holiday. And one of the friends said, oh, this would be so much easier if we had a shared bank account. And at first we all just laughed it off. And then we were like, wait, that's actually kind of genius. And we'd actually opened it by the end of breakfast.
Each woman contributes $20 a week to the shared account to be used for any and all travel expenses, including airfare, lodging, and dining. And if someone can't come or participate in certain activities, the group has a way to handle it.
There's been a time when one of the friends has been pregnant, which meant she didn't drink on the trip. And so we just all individually buy our drinks. We've actually had one of the friends not be able to come after we'd booked. However, she didn't expect any money back, but the rest of us friends thought we could probably calculate how much she'd actually put in that would have contributed. We just thought, well, the right thing to do would be to refund her, because I think we've very much taken the approach that it all comes out in the wash, or it all comes back to you eventually as well.
Kim says taking the stress out of budgeting and splitting costs has made their friendship even stronger.
Instead of thinking about cost being a barrier to splurge on that extra glass of wine, you just do it and you don't have to think about it. So it's made our trips actually so much more fun, and we've been able to connect so much more freely, not having to worry about money at all.
Rebecca Jarvis, ABC News, New York.
A man gives a sermon. He then, in plain sight of everyone, walks into a sealed concrete box. And 30 seconds later, that man is lying dead. A classic impossible crime.
Daniel Craig's Benoit Blanc is back, helping Josh O'Connor solve his Monsignor's murder in the official teaser for Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. Kerry Washington, Jeremy Renner, Andrew Scott, Glenn Close, and Kaylee Spaney are among the suspects this time. Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery debuts in select theaters November 26th and on Netflix December 12th.
The Rogue Boys are heading straight towards the mums and cubs. And this is exactly what we don't want to happen. This is really, really dangerous.
Big Cats 24/7 is back. Elite wildlife filmmakers return to Botswana's Okavango Delta, following lions, leopards, and cheetahs around the clock for months in one of Africa's last wildernesses. Season 2 of Big Cats 24/7 debuts Wednesday on PBS, PBS.org, and the PBS app. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
I could watch documentaries on like big cats, like lions, and I could watch that forever.
My favorite thing to do is to pretend that my house cat is like a lion.
Yeah, that's Nora.
Nora, though, she's got a little weight on her.
Opposite of vicious.
That's true. Hey, tomorrow morning we are going to be in the upper 60s in San Antonio, so another cool morning for us tomorrow morning. Low 60s in the Hill Country, Bernie, Comfort, Kerrville, Bandera, Bulverde, all going to be waking up in the low 60s. We are going to be warmer tomorrow than we are even today. Our high tomorrow should be 94, but again, it's a dry heat, so not feeling too bad out there, especially in the shade. 95 on Saturday and Sunday into the weekend. So we're finally going to have a quiet weekend here for us. You know, we had some rain last weekend and the weekend before, so I'm looking forward to having a weekend where, you know, we can just kind of enjoy some time outdoors without worrying about the rain.
And also, so you don't have to work so hard. You were working wall to wall with all the rain
that,
coverage.
but hey, I'll let you in on a secret. I'm going on vacation
Thursday. You deserve it. Sarah's tired. Lots of weather.
Now, Justin and Shelby, they'll have a good time.
They'll keep up with it.
You guys will have it. And obviously, we'll enjoy the lighter temperatures, but the fall means it'll be a little bit toastier.
I agree.
But we'll get back to it.
Hey, I'll see y'all at 5, 6, and 10. My local high school, Clark High School, highlighted me in their library. I'd love to show that. I'll see you guys at 5 and 6.
Check it out.